And I lost my leg during an attack. For 5 years I used to walk on broomsticks, so I had to re-amputate my leg because the knee was damaged because of the different reasons, socket technique, fitting and so on, and not the right measurement.
Did they really see it?
What is your opinion about prosthetic technician in Bulgaria?
Some mistakes that has been done by the doctor, and I held the cane in my hands like this to him, and I said, here. He said, what is this? I said, your patient doesn't need it.
To the owner of the prosthetic center?
Yes. The first few weeks after amputation, these are the most important weeks. 80% of the work is on actually the patient, not on the CPO, not on the product. The sooner the better to have a prosthesis right after amputation. In many studies it shows this is how successful the later fittings would be. The strength that I got is from the goal, the image inside of me where I wanted to be and what I wanted to do. Some moment I was like really thinking of ending my life, and now I was crying for happiness. I would say if I made it, you can make it.
Здравейте на всички! Днешният епизод смятам, че ще бъде много интересен, защото имаме един гост, който може да ни разкаже много от първо лице. От 21 години носи протеза и също така се занимава с протезиране. Смятам, че може да научим много от неговия опит и много се радвам, че има възможност да говоря с човека, който стои срещу мене. Той сам ще ви се представи. So hello, welcome to Bulgaria. What's your name? Introduce yourself to our auditory, please.
Thank you for having us. My name is Sobi. Sobi Sobo. I came from Palestine, specifically from Gaza. Well, my story begins back in 2003. I lost my leg during an attack. At the age of 8, me and my family, we were in between exchange fire between the Israeli army and fighters from Gaza, and after that for 5 years I didn't have the chance to have a prosthesis. For 5 years I used to walk on broomsticks.
Oh, really?
Yes, on broomsticks, going to school back and forth. The reason was simply because I didn't have any document to present to NGOs, to anybody to give me even a help to have a prosthesis or even to have a first aid. I couldn't have this document because the hospital where I was taken to, my documents were destroyed for some reasons. So I didn't have any paper to say that I lost my leg. I didn't have any document to say that I was born like this. So for 5 years I didn't have access to any first aid.
Oh my God, this is very long time because 5 years going to school.
Yes, it was really on broomsticks. It was on, and sometimes I even have to build my own crutches from metal and just to wield it. And it was so heavy to point. Many times I had to really throw them and again go back to the broomstick. It's made out of wood. And because it's heavy, I mean, imagine at 8 years old walking on a metal crutches that me and my friends trying to wield it. Literally that lasted for 5 years, and until I reached 13 years old, I had the chance by one of the NGOs in the Middle East. They helped me to get a medical treatment in the USA. They made a document for me to be able to send me to the state, and because of my story and so on, I don't exactly remember the exact reasons, but all what I can remember is they made a document, and then I found myself in Seattle.
For Seattle, I know that they have very good prosthetic technicians,
Yes,
so you went in very good place, right?
It was actually my first time to walk with the prosthesis was in Seattle, and it was my first steps. It was even recorded on a channel over there. I did my first prosthesis over there, and actually I lived there for 3 years. I studied English over there. Before the US, I couldn't speak
So when
a
you
word.
went in United States, you didn't speak any English?
Nothing.
Who was translating everything for you? How you compare from the socket, for example?
Sometimes body language is enough.
Body language?
Yes.
But you was alone without nobody?
Without nobody. Yes.
Who was taking care of you?
There was a host family. This host family, they're Americans. The husband was he's Palestinian, but he was not really living in the state when I was there. He was abroad. Actually, they were not expecting my arrival because there was some issues with the visa. So the guy just went to, I don't know, to Indonesia or something like this for work, and the visa came up. So, and then I traveled, and then there were nobody over there to translate.
Oh my God.
Yes, and actually this is one of the reasons what made me study the language as quickly as possible, because I need
had
to
adapt to the
yes,
situation.
yes. This is the moment where I started to discover who I am and what I want to be. It's after actually I got the chance to walk on my both legs, after I got the chance to have my hands free. And when my hands are free, I would say my mind is also a little bit free. It's not occupied of small things. During this time, when I couldn't walk in prosthesis, I hated my life at the time. I, as a kid who is wanted to play with other kids, and I couldn't. I was not able to do anything. So I used to see that life is over for me. I cannot do anything, and several times I was like thinking of killing myself or doing something crazy because I couldn't play, I couldn't even live normal. For that, I started to really discover who I am, and I started to set up some goals even at the age of 14 years old, 13 years old.
Very young, very young.
Yes. And it's funny because I really wanted to become a doctor. That was the idea, to start studying and taking care of myself, to become a doctor and to help kids, because it happened to me when I was a kid, and I wanted to support those kids who don't have anybody to help them. It's like I see there's a lot of kids are going right now in the same situation as I used to be, and this is where I thought I would be useful, because I did have these feelings and I don't want others to have it. So the idea was to becoming a doctor. I didn't know at the time what kind of doctor, but a doctor that helped kids. You know, it's like simple child dream.
Yeah.
And after the US, after I finished my treatment, I had to go back to Gaza because visa and some problems like this. So I had to go back to the state, to Gaza. And in Gaza, after I finished my high school, I also finished my high school in the American International School in Gaza.
Very nice.
Yes. And after that, I was looking, how can I start my medical school? And in Gaza, everything was kind of like limited because of cost, of course. It's so expensive, so I couldn't really attend a medical school because of the cost, and I couldn't really travel. So at the end, I found people who start supporting me to study, to become what I wanted. Because since medicine is so expensive no matter where you go, I decided to become a physiotherapist.
Nice.
That was the idea.
Yeah.
That is the closest thing where I could still be useful and help kids. That was the idea. And believe it or not, at that time I have no clue, no idea what is a prosthetic technician. I didn't have a clue about it.
But in US, you saw many prosthetic technicians.
Yes, but I thought at that time they are doctors.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. I didn't know at the time what is prosthetic technician. Even nowadays, I mean, patients when they come to us, they don't know what is a prosthetic technician.
Yes.
Sometimes they think we are doctors.
Yes.
Or somehow
Yes.
in the healthcare part of the healthcare family, it's true. It's just we're not doctors.
We are not.
Yes. And I didn't know what is a prosthetic technician at the time, so I want to study physiotherapy, and those who helped me to become a physiotherapist, they helped me with the financially to pay the school, and we found a school in Semmelweis. It's in Budapest in Hungary. It's the school that it's really good, but at the same time the cost it's
Very high.
it's not super high. Those who helped me, they can pay the fee for this school. It's not too high, it's not too low, so it's like kind of in between. Then I came to Budapest to study.
How old was you?
I was
time?
I was 21 years old.
21?
Yes.
Yeah. About 21, you already know what you want to do?
Yes, I was going to study physiotherapy because still deep in my heart I wanted to be near kids and help kids, and especially amputee, not any kids. That was the aim, that was the goal. I don't see anything else. I only see that target, and I am going into this point. And when I got to the school in Budapest, I start my study, and little by little I started to discover that this is not a prosthetic technician. It's a good place where you can still deal with amputee, but there is a huge difference between a physiotherapist and a prosthetic technician.
Yeah, because the physiotherapist is like preparing the patient for the prosthetics, but the prosthetic technician is always at the side of the patients, right?
Yeah, that's true. And now we know this. That's after I started to see technicians more often. My technicians who used to deal with my prosthesis and my stuff. There is something that I didn't mention earlier, that I lost my leg. I had my own knee. I was lower the knee, so transtibial amputation. This is the type of the amputation, the level of the amputation that I have at the age of 8. And what I didn't say from the beginning is now I am also transfemoral, so I had to re-amputate my leg in 2017 in Budapest. And simply the reason is I had a short stump. I didn't do the right.
How short?
It was 3 to 5 centimeter under the patella. So
It's very short.
It was really short.
It's close to disarticulation.
Yes. And I also didn't do the right exercises. I didn't have the right socket, the right fitting. So it is not one cause. It was several reasons what happened that I lost the knee. I lost the function of the knee. So for that reason, I had to give up on the knee and do the re-amputation in Budapest because the knee was damaged. Because, as I mentioned earlier, because of the different reasons, socket, technique, fitting, and so on, and not the right measurement. I mean, not the right exercises. Did they really see it?
Yes. So we are proving that.
Yeah. Yes. So I didn't have a physiotherapist, and that moment I know how important the connection between a physiotherapy and CPO, prosthetic technician. And from that moment I decided to also after I finish my physiotherapy to become a prosthetic technician, because I want to put the two combination together, and then I would understand quite well the amputee people, how I would really deal with them, and what kind of help I could provide, with understanding the base of what is prosthesis and the base of what is physiotherapy, and then I can build them together.
Yes, mix both of them. It's very, very good for the final result, I think, because from the beginning to the end, you know what are you doing, what you should expect from the patient, and this is very good collaboration. How did you take the decision to make re-amputation of the stump? For sure, it's not easy, but how did you pass that time?
I think it was one of the hardest decision in my life. I tell you why.
Yeah, I'm asking you because I know that transtibial amputations, they are most commonly to be easy for fitting, easy for adjusting, but transfemoral, it's not the same.
Indeed, it is not the same. It is not the same, and it's terrifying when a patient had to think of re-amputation. They don't want to go through the pain again, but the pain this is the minor issue. The fear comes if it's the image in our head, how will I walk without my own knee? Thinking of having an artificial knee, it's something that you will dream about it, that you will have nightmares about it. Because for me, what I did experience is it was actually a long time ago, the doctors told me you will need to be re-amputated, and I always deny and refuse even the idea. I don't want to think about it, because I have an image in my head that how will I walk? Because I also saw the mechanical knees, how patients use it, and that's not the image that I want to see myself in. I don't want to go back. I hope you understand me. I have goals, and I have image of myself where I want to be and what I want to do, and to be able to deliver, to be what I want to be. My image in my head has to be the same or even better. I cannot walk in a bad condition with a mechanical knee. Then I cannot really help others. That was the idea. And then I got from my from the CPOs and so on, where at Autobock, this is where I met Autobock. It was in 2017.
You meet like you was client,
first time. Yeah, I was a patient who went for consultation,
Okay.
and that was the moment where introduced to me some hydraulic knee joints, not yet the MBK, but hydraulic, not just mechanic, a hydraulic. And I started to become more and more open to ideas and stuff about
you start to accept that this is the future. So.
Because I start to see what could help me, not just me. It helped my goal, how I could walk, and I started to see my image in a better also way, I would say, in a better way. And then as soon as I saw, okay, I could have a prosthesis that would allow me to do that and that and that, to walk better, to go down the stairs and so on. Then I decided, okay, finally I decided to go for re-amputation. But it wasn't easy. It wasn't a day. It wasn't one day and one night.
Of course, it's not, because you need time to heal.
What made me feel really afraid as well, I was alone, because in Budapest, I don't have a family. My family are living in Gaza, all of them. And in 2017, I was alone. And for my culture, for our culture, where I came from, making such a decision like this by myself, it's not easy. And what is even worse is after the amputation, who will take care of me, what will happen? It was a nightmare. It's a time I don't even wish it for my enemy.
Wow, very, very hard time, because alone with yourself making this decision, I don't know what thoughts come in your head.
Strength that I had, I didn't know where it really came from. I would say maybe it's from the image in my head that where I want to be, and the guts in me that I want to fight to reach what I want. Maybe that was.
For sure, I think that you are very strong, man, because this story is like a little bit touching me right now. I hear it for the first time, and
yeah, many people don't know the story.
And I don't know how to express myself, but maybe we are complaining for some things in our life. We are nervous and we cannot accept everything, but story like this, they have to motivate the people to go ahead, and like you, if you have vision, you have goals to accomplish everything and be the man that you are right now. Right now, in this moment, are you satisfied with where are you and what are you doing?
Really super proud of myself. I love myself so much, and the way to find love in yourself is from people around you. Is what I do is from really the environment around me. As I mentioned, the strength that I got is from the goal, the image inside of me where I wanted to be and what I wanted to do. And slowly, I start to take the strength from people around me, not just the goals. When I say, okay, I'm studying this and that, it's already something wow, but I'm just studying it. I'm not yet working. And then as soon as I start to put the goal in action, into I finished my study, okay, now what? And then I was really start thinking, okay, I need the job. Where should I go? How can I continue? I didn't have the money to start studying to become a prosthetic technician, but it's in me. I want it, and I finished, and I was like thinking, really, I want to go to one of the country that was on my list. Was Iceland.
Iceland?
Yes, it was Iceland. If you say why Iceland and what is so about Iceland, and I just Googled it, and it was one of the easiest places to get a job, a quick job.
Yeah, maybe they don't have so many professionals.
Exactly. And I went to my technician for the last time, just to say goodbye. And I'm thinking really of moving because I finished. I'm about to finish, actually. I didn't finish yet, but it was the last year, so it's over. The last semester even. Actually, he said, "Why are you leaving? And why don't you work here?" He didn't mean at Otobok at the time. He just meant in Hungary. And I said, "Well, Otobok would be one of the doors I would knock, looking for a job." He said, "Yeah, okay, but you can think about it."
But who told you that?
My technician.
Your technician?
Yes,
who is making your prosthetic in this time?
Yes.
Yeah.
He was working at Otobok, and he said. Then he just had a thought about it, and he said, "You know what? I will ask around." I said, "Okay, please go ahead and ask around before I make my decision."
Yeah, it's a thought that came to me. If you want to work prosthetic technician, in the first place, you have to be like good person. You have to be human.
Yes, this is something about me. Some people sometimes describe me. I am too open. I try to always have conversations with anybody. I can make friends easily. That is maybe because of my childhood, because of I had to move to many different places and lived in the state, and then now alone in Budapest. Maybe that creates something in me that to be too open. Because what is funny is the people from my country or my friends back home, they are not too open. They are not like, so it's not really a culture thing. It's just would create friends too quickly by always trying to open conversations. And actually, I start asking him one way or another that, okay, I just told him somehow I'm looking for a job. And then by me keep saying it, then he said he will ask around, and he just called me the week after, and he said, that was actually in 2019, by the way. He called me and he said, my boss would like to meet you. I don't know who was the boss. I didn't know who was my boss. And then he just set up an appointment. I like a normal appointment. It's not like an interview or something for a job. No, it's just normal appointment. And we went over there. I went over there, and I met the boss for the first time. Who are you? What you want to be, and so on. It's kind of like quick discussion. And he said, okay. It was funny because immediately he said, he didn't know me before, but immediately he said, yes, of course, we would love to have you here with us. And when will you start? And I was not expecting that at all. I was just expecting a conversation and leave. At the time I told him, okay, but he said we don't really need the physiotherapy because we have and so on, but and by any chance are you willing to continue studying to become a CPO? And that was exactly what I wanted. He said, of course. He said, okay, then next year, which is not really next year, that the talk was almost somewhere in May, and he said in September you can start your school in Duderstadt in Germany. I said, I'm in. And then just the week after I came, and they just signed up the contract, a local contract until Germany approves it, and simply I was really shocked. And then he said, just go back to your school, and when you have time, come to the workshop, check the guys, check what you can do, and in September you will start your school in Duderstadt. For me, I left as I was a newborn person.
Of course, you have the opportunity to accomplish your dream.
Yes.
Right now.
This is the image that I had. It would happen in 10 years. It happened even less than 1 year.
We never know what will happen.
Yeah. This is that was amazing. The funny part is, friends that I had in Budapest, they were kind of like shocked. How will you do it? How will you have such a job like this? Because it will be tiring, it will be, I don't know, it's too much. And said, I don't know, but let's discover.
If you love your job, it's tiring, but there you know what you're doing. So
yes, when I was still doing the study in Semmelweis, and I had to go to the hospital to do practice in the hospital because we do it often, and the feedback that I get from patients, even yet I am not yet graduated, I'm still a student, but the feedback that I get from the patients in the hospital, clinics, and even in the street, it was the food for my soul. It was the food that made me keep going. It was the strength that I got, that I can do it. I didn't feel the tiredness. Maybe it's a power that they give me to continue. And once I was asked from one of my patients, how do you wear the socket all day, walking and coming and sitting? Because in our field, when a patient come, we studied patient safety number one. That means also when we are doing the fitting, we look at the patient and we always ask the patient, do you want to sit down? Do you want to rest?
Of course, yeah.
How can I do this if I am also a patient? And it doesn't matter. They didn't say it's a fresh amputee or if doesn't matter. It's just if it's a patient, you all have to always ask and make sure they are relaxed. And I am the one who is jumping and from here to there, going under the patient, tightening the screws, doing all this kind of work. I got the question from one of the patients, how do I do it? And I just told her, it was a she actually, and I said to her that I really enjoy it. I fell in love with the job, and that's why I don't feel it. But the truth is, after she finished, I finished with the appointment, I was sitting with myself and asking myself, like I'm proud of you, like looking at myself, I'm like really, how do you do it? The truth is, I do really love the job. I do. It's not something that I made it up for her, but in the same time, there is moments between myself, I was like, kind of like, I am shocked from my own self that I could really do such a thing. I try to understand sometimes the look from others toward me, and it just makes me more proud to work even more and to work a little bit harder. Though sometimes what people see is not really all what I do. It's like right now for you, you only think I work for Autobook, for example.
Yeah.
But
It's true.
I have a lot of other things that I do. Like those people who helped me to go to the US in 2008, I am still working with them now. From time to time, I do Zoom meetings with some kids who lost their limbs and so on, from different countries, from different places, and we talk, and there's a lot of things. And those who need sometimes help financially, their family cannot really support them, we try to provide this support. Not for really amazing fittings. I wish, in my eyes, I see all patients deserve the best of the best, but with what we can, that's something I do.
So from this time till now, you are educated now?
I finished from Autobook. I became officially in the OMB school. It's not really a school for Autobook. It's an international school actually. Anybody could apply for it. 1 year we do over there for the whole year around 22 fittings. There is a master. There is someone is leading us. It's like normal as any other schools.
Do you have to make exams?
Absolutely. It's every there is 4 terms. And every term we have to have an exam and we have to pass it. If we don't pass it, we cannot go to the other. And if we don't pass these 4 terms, we cannot really go for the final. And some people didn't even go for the final. Some people failed.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What happened with them?
Simply, they just didn't succeed.
And nothing?
Nothing.
Oh,
they lost.
But you're working with real patients. I mean, if you make, for example, sockets for them, if they like the sockets, they keep it or what?
Usually no. It's not like that, because it is a school, and these patients are demo patients. They are real patients, yes, but they are coming. This is kind of part of their job.
Yeah.
When I said 22 socket, this is not the number of the socket that we make. So we make much more than that, but we have to end up with a 22 good fitting sockets.
Okay. This is the target, the minimum.
Yes. But how many times we take it and we repeat it, and that's many sockets. It's actually a lot. You will not find any school on earth that makes 22 sockets in a year. Right.
But this is per person, right?
Per person, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is different. Okay.
Yeah, per person, yes. Yeah. And amount of stuff.
And then you pass all the exams, everything?
Yes, I passed, and all was good.
So from 5 years you are working for Autobook, right?
Yes.
Yeah. You have been in many countries in Europe.
Yes.
You have facilities almost in every country.
Almost, yes.
Almost, yeah. What is your opinion about prosthetic technician in Bulgaria and for the laboratories and everything?
It's always different from one place to another, I would say. But this is not just in Bulgaria. I think this is for the whole region, for any country. You have facilities, and the people over there working really hard to make prostheses. They have the knowledge, they have the mindset, they are up to date, and you will have facilities. The knowledge that exists in these facilities are 50 years old. It's not that I wouldn't say it's really bad. It's just there's always something new, and we just have to adapt to new things. For example, now I might say something, and in 5-10 years it would be false because studies show a better way, or it's just wrong. And they have to accept in 5-10 years the possibility to change the mindset that what is better. The issue in Bulgaria, not just in Bulgaria, as I mentioned, in the region, but since we are here in Bulgaria, this issue exists here as well as at any other country. That you will have facilities, you will have workers, CPOs, who is 50 years old, or even a bit more, bit less. Their mind is still stuck in the old school and so on. And what is even worse is when they hire young people to this job and they teach them the old style. It's not really about age. It's about accepting new ideas, new information, new technique, new style, and the understanding of components and equipments and the tools that we are using in this field. Many CPOs, they don't really understand the prosthesis. They don't understand what it should do. What is the function of that? Is not just a tube. On a tube, we put it under a patient, and then we ask the patient to walk.
Yeah, but there is your job when you are supporting us, when you are at our side. We can accomplish everything. I mean, for example, if we need to assemble Silek or Kenevo,
Yes.
or everything, you are providing certification, also site assembling.
Yeah, our job basically is trying to keep the market sometimes up to date, to just show that what is new and what is the real function of that device, or that piece of artificial knee, or to show the real function of it, and how the CPO and the patient can cooperate to do the work. And here it's a little bit tricky, because it's not always the CPO as well. It's also the patient, also the relatives of the patient, the education of the patient. It is a full teamwork. It is not one. It's not just somebody that we can blame. It's nobody to blame. It's the whole team that need to work together to make the result good. For the patients, even there's more. The patient education actually is really important, because basically 80% of the work is on actually the patient, not on the CPO, not on the product. Yes.
So when is the right time to start thinking for prosthetic, to after the amputation, I mean, for start doing things that can help you into the future?
According to some studies, the right thing is as soon as possible. Of course, it's different from one patient to another. It's in individual cases.
Yes, because in Bulgaria, doctors say that the patients have to wait 6 to 7 months, even 1 year, before they start doing anything. When I am in conversation with with my clients, I'm asking them, okay, do you make some rehabilitation? Do you make something that will help you into the future? They say, no, my doctor told me to stay in the bed and waiting for everything to heal up. When I'm ready, he will say to me, you are ready, so I will come to your facility.
This is exactly what we say about old school. This is the old school. And here where we say the sooner the better. I mean, let's think a little bit about what happens to the patient life when they lose a limb. These patients are not just numbers, or they have a job, they have a family, they have a life that they need to continue. If we want to say, okay, they should be in bed for 1.5 years. If he's a husband, who would take care of the family? If he's so you cannot stop someone's life for 1.5 years doing nothing. That is one side. The other side is there's something else, the fountain pen and many other things, and also his life. The sooner the better to have a prosthesis right after amputation is, in many studies it shows this is how successful the later fittings would be, because the first few weeks after amputation, these are the most important weeks when it comes to, especially for transfemoral, because if they are in bed or in wheelchair for that period of time, then we are creating something called flexion contraction. Basically, some of the muscles are being weak, and for that, after the wound, or because I don't think the wound needs 1 year to heal. But if the doctor thinks like this, after that I need years and years of physiotherapy, of a lot of things to strengthen these muscles again. So the idea is the studies as well that shows a really good result. The sooner the better to fit the patient right after amputation. In some places they start compression therapy with liners and so on 7 days. Not 7 weeks, 7 days after amputation.
You don't have to wait. You don't have to lose time, because if you're laying only on the bed, then it's not gonna work like you should expect.
Yeah, that is something about the procedures. It will not work as I expecting. I will create some muscle weakness and so on. This is something. The other thing is, what about the patient's life?
Exactly.
That also matter. They need to go back to work. They need to go back to their life.
What was your first knee? Your first socket?
Yeah, the first knee I had, as the promise before I agreed on the re-amputation, it was a hydraulic knee joint. It was 3R80.
3R80.
Yes, from
Ottobock. But who pay for this prosthetic?
It was same people who supported me. Yes, it was people give some support, NGOs and so on.
All the time you are staying with contact with them.
Yeah, until now, and now I work with them.
You work with them.
Yes,
now.
in one way or another, we are working together on charities, on a lot of things, and helping a lot of kids. I'm not just working at Ottobock.
Very nice.
There's other things that I do.
Okay.
Yes.
So what about the 3R80? Your opinion about
the 3R80? That, as I mentioned, I was not expecting huge thing, but I did had a good image. And the first 2 days of trying 3R80, I remember the first 2 days I was really crying all the time. Between myself, I'm not the guy to really cry in public, but between myself and when I really tested that knee at home and things, I had a moment with myself, like sitting and thinking that before I really refused for a second amputation because I have great fears, and now I was crying for happiness because I could do things. I could sit, even just sitting, there's very small details that it might be not obvious for others, but for the user it really matter. Believe me, with having my own knee previously, I couldn't sit like the way I'm sitting right now. I couldn't have this angle of bending the knees and especially just going on sitting. And for that, it made me, I saw things that I couldn't even remember doing it. Because the accident actually happened at the age of 8. I couldn't remember myself. I have no image of myself running, seeing an image with 2 normal legs. I have no memory of such a thing of my childhood. All what I have is the bloody day, the accident that happens. All what I see in my memory is screaming and blood is floating. It's like a bloody bath. This is all the memory that I have. Me being an 8 years old, I don't even remember myself when I was 6, 7. I don't know if this is normal or I have no clue, but
Maybe
I cannot.
this is some protection of the mind. So
I cannot see it.
yeah,
I cannot see it, and for that, seeing something that I could do with a 3 or 80, it made me really, really, really cry, and it touched my heart that I could do something I couldn't do. And then I start to do other things. I start even to walk more. I start to go down the stairs better. I start to have a lot of things that wasn't even in the plan.
Okay, so this knee motivated you
Yes.
to see the picture from different angle, right?
Yes, it made me yes, of course, because as I said, there was an image, but the expectation wasn't that high, and then it made me discover myself a little bit more, and then at the end I found out that I can do like a lot more than even others. And this is the moment where I indeed want to continue, and I don't want to have a part-time job. I want to have a full-time job, and I am capable of having the prosthesis 8 hours and 9 hours a day and even 12 hours a day. I was capable of that. Before I couldn't have the prosthesis more than 4 hours, and then I cannot keep going.
So do you have some next goals? Do you have something that you are not accomplished yet?
I do. I have
What?
some.
Yeah, what else?
I am. No, I do have. I'm still running after the dream, basically working with kids a little bit more, maybe in the future, to work with amputee kids closer. And not just work, I will also like to share their stories as I am sharing mine. There is something that I am working on. It says, this is my story and what is yours?
Very nice.
Yes. And
where we can find this?
It's not yet.
It's
a project.
Okay.
This is my story and what is yours? And
Okay.
it's basically showing people, and like me, the amputee people, the patients who are shy sometimes, to show what is missing in them. We try to make it that you don't need to be shy anymore. Life is not over for you. If I could make it, you can make it too. And
But
basically,
it's personal project.
it's not really personal. It's some people would see it personal, but I do not see it personal. It should be public. It should be.
Yeah,
It should
it's
be
for
for everybody. It's not personal. It's because this is who we are. This is not a broken bone that it will heal 2 months later and it's over. This is the new us. This is a lifetime. It's over. So we have to take it the way it is, and to see the beauty out of it. This is what I think how it can be, and I already started that little by little, but there is a project that would be on a higher level, in like really showing it to the whole world. So the advices that I would give for the relatives, families, friends, amputee people, that really the education is important, and if they don't understand what I mean by education, it's not really going to school and no, it's about really knowing what is amputation, what you need to expect, when you visit a facility, when you visit, when you sit with a CPO, what are your expectation, and how can you really tell if you are in a good hands or not?
How?
Simply by the products, the components, the results. There's many things, because some patients I know, and I have seen some patients are going for good fittings, good components, and many family, many relatives don't understand what components mean, what is a prosthesis. It's not a one thing, it's a lot of pieces that's putting together, then at the end we get a prosthesis. And basically these parts, they could be made in China and India and in many other places, and this is what you're going to put your life on. If these things are not quality, if these things are not didn't come from a good area, it's not really made
with
by
ISO certification.
Yes, exactly. With
normal warranties.
Those people are not really certified to do this kind of stuff. Then they should know. The family, the relatives, the patient should know. And sadly, usually the first patients, right after the amputation, they don't know this stuff because they are new, and they don't know this kind of things. And this is really the moment where they really have to be careful, because they are putting their life on such a device. This is the advice, is that education for the patient and for the relatives to know.
I'm working like from 16 years, and I see many time people that they leave everything because they think that this is it, nothing can happen. And I'm trying to explain to them that the assemble is not good. I have to make new socket like in the right way and everything. But they don't believe me, because like for the years that they was using bad prosthetics, they give up.
That is patient education again, because they have a mindset and they don't want to change it. It's simply, right now I tell my patients, okay, I do this for you. It might work, it might not work. And I always say, later on in the future, there might be some better devices, better technique that we would do. We had a case together actually with a patient, me and you had it, and then we right now thinking to give a system that yet is not even out in the market, and we agreed that in October we would do something.
We'll do it for
exactly.
Sure, yeah.
We had no experience with that system.
I'm very open for new things, because this is the future. I don't see reason not to do it. Why not?
Exactly. That is the behind patient education, making the patient really open to try and to understand what could be done different to make their lives a bit better. I mean, think about it: better socket, better alignment, better device, then you will have a better life, a quality life.
Of course, it's gonna be easy for us, easy for the patient. Every one of us have to improve. We are doing the best for that we can.
Mm-hmm.
Even when we make mistakes, it's something, because that is the way of growing.
Yes, this is the way of learning, and this is the way of finding it was actually a mistake, and then we can try something else. It's this, in this field, all patients are not the same. We are individual cases. For that we need to have different systems, and it's just the idea, are the patients open really to try different systems? And when we introduce a system, do they understand what it is? What is the benefit out of it? And as you mentioned, I mean, some patients come to you and they say, okay, I want the best of the best. I want the most expensive. Yeah, but the most expensive is not good for you.
Yes.
It doesn't fit your daily needs.
Exactly.
It doesn't fit your lifestyle. It doesn't fit. So what is here? Sometimes the money is not the problem, but your life is the problem. Your lifestyle is the problem. It won't fit you. You can still buy it and pay for it, but it's not good for you, and the result won't come. And the other hand, there are people getting low-cost devices, it could do much more than what I see. But the issue is the patient, and believe me or not, neither the CPO understand how to really use these devices. They don't really get the benefit out of these devices because they don't educate, they don't tell the patient what they need to put into these devices to get the action out of it. It doesn't matter if it's a smart device, if it's a mechanical, hydraulic, doesn't matter what kind of it is. There is no one button that to push it and then it will do the function. The patient have to do the work. They have to put the action into this device to get the benefit out of that device. If they don't, it will not work. It's just not one button to turn it on and then it's on.
The engine of walking or doing something doesn't mean what kind of prosthetic is wearing the patient. The engine is the human.
Yes.
The human body is not the prosthetic, because it's something like help replace the missing part, but that is it.
Absolutely, yes. The part of patient education that we were just talking about, before I took the decision to give up on my knee, as I mentioned, there was a fear, and the CPO had a big role in my life, that he did convince me, not a doctor, it was a CPO. He had the knowledge, the right knowledge about the right product. He could really convince me that it will work. He showed me, and he did a very good job to explain to me that this knee joint have that and that and that and that function. So the worries, he heard what I am worried of, and then he explained the knee joint very well. And then, as I said, though the expectation still for me wasn't that much, and afterward it was way higher than I expected. That is a job. That is the right CPO. This is the right job. He did the right job, I would say, toward me, and this is what I would really hope to see in not just in Bulgaria, but anywhere. But though, as I mentioned earlier, it's 80% from the patient and the 20% left is in the product and the CPO. The CPO did his part, 10%, 15% did the part, and then to convince this 80% really to follow and to accept. This is what I say, a professional, a good CPO that could really explain the right thing. And it's really nice to see people like you, that young and caring about this field, and to think like this, that you want to see it better, and that you did study this field. You didn't just come from a different profession, car mechanic or something, and then you got into this field. It's not really common to see people do this. There are a lot of prosthetic technicians, but some of them don't even study this field. They just go study someone else's technique.
Yeah, but there is no regulation of this profession.
Here maybe, yes, yeah, here.
Still no,
yeah.
But we are expecting some changes, because me and my colleagues, we have batch of prosthetic technician and for orthotics also.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that everyone have to make some research of where is going, who are these people, how they work, how much experience they have, because it's a very different component. It's not about doctors, it's not about professors. I mean, we are in the first contact with the clients.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, that's right. And for me, it's a little bit personal over here, because I am an amputee, and I am from the family of amputation, I would say. It's a bit personal that I really want some like the patients to receive the best and the quality work, quality prosthesis, and we are putting our life on such a product. For you would never understand what it means to trust, to put a trust in something. You have to consider it replacing part of your body, and this is not easy. It doesn't come by day and night. It comes by a lot of work. Easy. Yes, it comes with a lot of work. For that, if I see a CPO, a prosthetic technician, a CPO who is not familiar with what they are doing, and at the end they put an artificial limb under the patient, and the patient need to trust it, and they put their life on it, and it is not quality, it is not well done, it can be dangerous. And when I say dangerous, I mean it can really lead to make the situation much worse, for re-amputation even, or even falling, and the patient might have catastrophe situations.
Yes, that's why I see many patients not wearing prosthetics, because the body says don't put that because it hurts, it's not doing well. If you used to be tired, it's other thing, but if the assembling is not right and you are feeling like not in the right position, of course.
Think of me as a father. Think of me as a father, and I have a daughter or a son, baby, that I want to carry with my hands. And I have a prosthesis that I don't trust it. I'm not able to walk.
It's impossible.
Then
not to do it.
Yes, then you are telling a father not to carry their own child and walk few steps with it. Is that what you're telling me? That is something. It shouldn't be this way. So we can allow it. A few days ago, I was in a facility, and I had a patient same age as me, a bit younger, better fit than me. He's a bodybuilder. He's walking in a knee joint that it's a mechanical knee joint, not the best, but he was using a cane. He was using kind of like an aid tool to walk.
So he's 27, 28?
Yes. And he was using a tool for walk. He's about 3 years using prosthesis, and he's using the cane. And we just went outside. We did some gait training. It's a little bit, not really huge. He didn't need a huge, he just need the right things. And after less than even half an hour, I went inside holding the cane on my hands like this to the owner, and I held the cane in my hands like this to him, and I said, here. He said, what is this? I said, your patient doesn't need it.
To the owner of the prosthetic center?
Yes. He had no words to say it. He said, excellent.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. First of all, you are therapist, and second, you are professional CPO. So
yes,
everyone expects from you.
Yes, but what I did, it's what I'm not. I don't have a magic stick. It's mean if I can do it, then you cannot do it. You also can do it. What I made, it's not something. It's just a knowledge. It's everybody could do. I don't have to go and cut all the CPO's legs to become like me. No, it's just a basic knowledge. And sadly, when we are speaking with some CPOs, I see an empty hole here. They are not processing what we're saying, and this is the problem. That the basic knowledge.
I hope this is not only in Bulgaria.
No, this is not only in Bulgaria. For indeed, I have. I have been in Egypt, in Jordan, in Germany, in many other places, Romania, Bulgaria, Vienna, and so on, Austria.
our conversation, you told me that in Hungary there is like 100 facilities.
Absolutely, there is over 100 facilities for prosthetics.
How much is the population of
9 million and
9
700.
million?
9 million 700.
We are
Yes.
something like 6.5, 7 million. So we have like 10 facilities, not no more.
Yes.
100.
Yeah, over 100.
Oh my God.
Over 100.
So much.
But they are fake.
Yeah, we know about.
They are fake, and only about 10, and really 10 companies. If even from the 10 I would take 5 out, they are not really doing really good job. Some of them, they are just, it's for them, it's a business. It's not they're not working with, even they don't see themselves working with people. It's a business. This is the issue, is we shouldn't be looking for fancy places and so on. It's not about the place that it's fancy, or about, it's about basically the knowledge that exists in the facility. It's about the knowledge, it's about the work, and of course the outcome results. This is what is important. You can have a tower, you can have a really nice building, but in this field, lie doesn't live long. Again, this is not a broken bone that it will heal in 2 months. This is an amputation. If you lie to me today, I will discover it tomorrow, if not tomorrow, the day after, and I will know that what you did. If you do the first fitting with me not right, I will also know. If you did something wrong with me, and then I go to another facility and they also say something wrong, I will discover by the time in the future who was right and who was wrong, and then at the end, you would lose me, and you will lose also people that I know, and
Yes,
so
but
on.
the issue to going from one place to another is that the patients have to pay, and this costs money, time. You have to call to your family to take you to the facility. So it's not like going in one shop then into other. And my advice also is make research, see where you are going, who is working there,
Yeah.
what is the degree master.
This is part of the family and friends and patient education.
Yes,
Is knowing
exactly.
is knowing where they are going, and what are the expectation, what they will receive, what is existing, what is good in this stage, because different stages. A fresh amputee doesn't need a prosthesis that he will run the marathon with it, for example. So no, this place offer me better. No, they need to understand what is the expectation in different stages. Then
Okay, some last advices.
I would say, if I made it, you can make it. That is
Okay.
my last advice. Yes, life is not over. You can always discover. God takes something and gives something else. You can always discover what is in you, and what you are capable of doing. And with the free hands, then you have a free mind.
Thank you for sharing your story. It was very touching.
It's my pleasure.
And I'm very glad that I can meet you in person and we take conversation even out of the studio.
It's a pleasure.
I hope that you will return
I will.
and we will talk about other things that will be helpful for the patients.
Indeed, I will. Sure. Yes.
And that is it.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you.